Hello friends, I'm Brian, and this is Gizmo Board Games. And today I'm doing a little bit of my Where Are They Now video. Or if you're at the title, the 11 games that fell off my top 50 favorite games list from last year to this year. Or if you are a March Madness fan, you could call these the first 11 out of the tournament. But either way, these are the 11 games that were displaced in my latest top 50 games of all time video. If somehow you've managed to find your way to this video without watching those videos, that's weird, because this is definitely the less fun video for most people. Most people enjoy those countdown lists, and this isn't really that. So somehow you ended up here first. Go check out my top 50 games of all time videos. There are 3 of them in the last few weeks to check out. And then you can come back and see this video to see the 11 that fell off. And if you're a returning viewer, these are the ones that, missed the cut this time around for various reasons. And I'll try to get into those without dragging on this video any longer than I've already been rambling, as I like to do at the start of these videos. Starting with the one that fell off the least. And again, I don't know where these fell off to. I do have a top 100 list that was spat out by Pub Meeple, but I haven't looked at where these fell to. I just know these are the ones that were in my top 50 last year, and now they're not. And I'm starting with the one that had the shortest fall. The one that was number 50 last year was Alhambra. Alhambra is a little bit of a tile city building game where you're buying cards and then using those to buy tiles to put into your village, and you're just trying to score points. Based on the color of tile, how many you have of those. You can build walls around the city. It's been years since I've played Alhambra, and that's really the reason it's fallen off. Like, I enjoy the game when I play it. It's just been so long. I think probably 4 or 5 years since I last played Alhambra. So it's drifted kind of out of the memory. It's still in my collection. It's still one of those games I should pick that one back up again and refresh myself on it. I did enjoy it, but I've just played so many more enjoyable games now that Alhambra is one of those ones that I'd love to play it again, but every time I think about it, it's like I'd have to relearn it and then teach it and then play it. And I've got other games that I just want to play more or whatever. The next one that fell was number 49 last year. So again, shortfall, but I think this one actually is a pretty far fall. I've kind of almost outgrown it. It's a great game. I think it won Game of the Year a couple of years ago. It's Cascadia. A little tile drafting, animal drafting. You're putting the animals on the tile. You're building up your habitat for the animals. And then you're scoring points based on how well you did those things. I enjoyed Cascadia when it first came out. It's a great family game. Light-ish weight. Easy for the most part to teach. Easy to play. It's just... I don't know, I've grown wary of it. It's just not my kind of game necessarily. And I'm happy to play it, happy to teach it. But it's just not one of those ones that I'm fondly thinking like, oh man, I'd really love, like Alhambra's like, man, I really should play that again. Cascadia, I'm like, I've kind of played it. There was a recent expansion. I don't have that. I don't know. Like, I'll definitely try it. I definitely want to try it. I don't know that I want to add it to my collection and try it myself. If somebody else has it and then we play it, I'm happy to play it. I have no problems with Cascadia. It's a fine game. It's just not a fine game for me necessarily, unless I'm, trying to get people into gaming, because it fits kind of that role. And everybody I play with these days is into gaming already. So I haven't really had a need to be like, hey, you don't like gaming, but maybe you'll like this. Let me pull it out and teach it. And that's kind of the niche I feel for Cascadia. And I just don't have that need in my life right now. So Cascadia is just not that thought of in my end. Great game, deserved Game of the Year. Was fun while it lasted, I guess, is my thoughts on Cascadia. My number 48 last year, now off the list, is a Stefan Feld game. I really like Stefan Feld games. This is the Cities Collection game. I still enjoy it. It's Amsterdam. It's one where you're managing your turns. You're getting action cubes basically based on dice rolls. You're drafting 2 of them, putting them in your little spinner. Neat concept of you're setting yourself up for current and future turns based on colored dice rolls and colored cubes. Then you're using those cubes to take actions around the board. And also you've got different buildings that you have to build them or else you're going to score negative points. But building them also give you positive effects, more actions, more points, more things you can do with those as well. Great little concept. I really do enjoy Amsterdam. Just one of those that I have 50 games I enjoy more. This one still hovers right around that 50 mark, I'm sure. But it just got pushed off by the other games I enjoy more. Another game I enjoy playing. It's a lot of fun playing at every player count. I don't say that a lot. Up to 6 players, 1 to 6. No matter what player count I play it at, I've enjoyed it. It's a great thinky puzzle at 1 and 2. It's got that great solo management that feels like another player. 2-player, 3-player games. You're really trying to strategize against each other. Once you get into 4, 5, and 6 players, it becomes a hodgepodge of just complete randomness. It is Libertalia, the Winds of Galecrest, a game where you're all playing with the same starting hand of cards, and then you're taking turn playing them face down to represent your pirates going out to an island, bringing back some loots from the island, and then going to your ship. But you can kill each other off depending on what they are. And they just do various things based on when they're played, how they're played, what order they're played. So strategically, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, you're thinking about what they've played already versus what they still have left based on what's going to happen. And then once you're in the 5, 6, you're just, it's still fun. It's a different fun. It's less strategy and more random chance because just more variables are in play at that point. I really enjoyed Libertalia. The Winds of Galecrest, but it's fallen off. Number 46 last year. So far we've done literally the bottom 5 from last year. Just kind of got pushed out. Some fell more than others. This is one that's probably in that same ballpark. I like the game. I don't remember it much. I haven't played in a while. I am getting into the table for sure here in the next few weeks, months. With the newer expansion. It's Boon Lake. I haven't played the Artifacts expansion. I've got it on my current solo challenge, so that's how I know I'm for sure getting to the table, or I'm going to not succeed at my challenge. So Boon Lake with the Artifacts expansion coming back. It's a game where you're going around building land area around Boon Lake, and then you're using, the thing I like about this is you're using action tiles, shared action tiles. And when you use it, it goes back to the bottom. So it becomes a weaker action, but you're moving the other action tiles up. I love that aspect of Boon Lake. So once I get it played more, it could pop back up. It's just been a while since I played it. I think I've only played it one time, even solo. So game needs to be played again. I know it's getting played again, but it was just kind of one of those that like fell off. All right, now we're getting into some of the games that fell a bit further. In the case of my next one, what number are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of 11. So we're right at the middle of the list. This one's fallen from 42, but before that it was in the 20s. Before that it was in the 10s. Before that it was in probably the 5s. Like this one's just falling off the list. And it's because other games I like better. I like this game a lot. I will only play it one way, though, and that is with the Valhalla expansion. This is Champions of Midgard, by the way. I will not play base game Champions of Midgard anymore. It is too randomness, too much swing, too much. You can have a bad first round or second round, and no, you have no chance in the game because the thing you needed to do, you failed at because it's dice rolling of Viking dice, and they all died off. So not only did you fail at your thing you're trying to do, you've also lost your resources with which you were trying to do that thing. So it's a double loss, and I can't stand that from the base game. Valhalla fixes it because at least when your dice die, you've got the tokens that you can use to go to Valhalla and go shopping for things. So it's not a double loss anymore with the Valhalla expansion. Now it's just a single loss with a chance to get something out of it. So I will not play this game without the Valhalla expansion. But there are just so many other worker placement games that I enjoy more. I do still like this one. I still play this one with my friends. Again, assuming I'm playing Valhalla and they don't know better anyway. So if we're playing my copy, they don't know that there's a different version of the game. I like the mix of the Euro-ness of the worker placement and the managing of the resources, along with the kind of mare trash of sending Vikings out and chucking dice and trying to kill things. That's fun. I enjoy that. I really like the mix, and that's why it was in my top 10, 20, whatever for years. I've just changed in my gameplay style to lean more towards less randomy and more Euro, and there's still that randomness aspect in this game, because in the end you're just chucking Viking dice at things every round. So Champions of Midgard, a lot of fun. I do enjoy it. It could come back, if I play it more, because I do enjoy it. I love what it brought to me. It helped to get me into the hobby, away from the dice chuckers and into the Euro style being that mix. It helps me get other people into the hobby because of that same thing. And the Viking theme of we're killing, things as Vikings. So this one could probably still hover probably in my 50 to 75 range. It might, peek back into my list at some point. It might not. But Champions of Midgard, one of those games I enjoy, but I also know why it's fallen. All right, the next game that's fallen quite a bit is a game that I enjoy. I liked introducing it to my family. I like playing it at that level, but kind of like Cascadia, like if I'm not playing at that level, I'm not playing Creature Comforts. Another worker placement game where you're putting workers out that are going to try to do things based on die roll, and you're going to know half the results already. Half the dice are going to be rolled ahead of time, and the other half after the fact. And so you're just hoping you can do the things you plan on doing based on the dice rolls that you're using. And it's family friendly. Another mix of worker placement, dice rolling back to back. But in this game, you're collecting resources to get comforts into your den for the winter, because you're a bunch of hibernating animals that want to be comfortable during the winter. Nice theme. A good play style. But again, just like Cascadia, it's kind of in that range of games that don't really fit my needs right now. And so it's not a favorite, obviously. If I'm not playing it and I don't have a reason to play it other than to just play it, I'm not thinking about it. And so it's fallen from number 39 last year. Falling from 38 last year is a game that I really enjoy. And it might be my favorite Lacerda game, but it might not be. I know it was last year, and then I've got more Lacerdas played. Heavy games, and they're hard for me to call favorites. They're just a lot of work. Generally, I'm only playing them solo because I just don't want to take the time to try to teach them. They're a lot. They're a lot for me, having played them a couple times. And Kanban, not necessarily my favorite theme, but I understand the theme. I understand what I'm doing. I'm getting out, getting car parts, getting cars on the assembly line and on the test track, and doing those various things. I like the action ladder that you got to move up and down to take these different actions, managing the actions and the resources, and the trying to score the points during kind of the refresh phases. You've got a Sandra who's going up and down. She's checking your work, so you need to try to stay ahead of her as well, or else you're going to kind of get punished on it. But if you meet her needs, you're going to get rewarded for it. So you're kind of managing where she is on the action track as well. And then when she comes down all the way, you're going to go out there and do like mid-game scoring, basically. I like Kanban EV. It's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of think going into it. And also along the line, since last year I played I think 2 or 3 new Vital Lacerda games, and I've liked them for different reasons as well. I don't remember if any of them hit my top 50 or not, but a Kanban EV or Vinhos, both enjoyable Vital Lacerda games, but they're so thinky that it just makes me hard to really consider them as favorite games, they're just so heavy and so much that it's like I do enjoy them when I play them, but how often do I want to put myself through that? And so that's kind of where they reside on the list, is kind of in this just off the list range. And that was Kanban EV, which was 38 last year. Number 36 last year is a cooperative game that I enjoy, but I don't play that much, and I play others more. I enjoy others a lot more. But Forbidden Island, I do enjoy going out there, putting those tiles out, working together to try to collect the 4 artifacts and then fly to safety off the island before it sinks away. That's just Forbidden Island. I enjoy it, but I enjoy others more. So it's all gone now off the list, and probably not to come back, unfortunately. The one that fell almost the furthest from 28 last year, now off the list, is a game I really like. In fact, I liked it so much, I bought it last year, a used copy, and I haven't touched it since. I've only played it one time when I borrowed a library copy of Puerto Rico. Enjoyed the play. I liked the play style. Don't remember it. That's part of the problem, is I knew I liked it. I liked it enough to buy it. I liked it enough for it to debut at 28. But it just didn't make that lasting impression on me, other than I know I want to play it again. But I need to relearn it, reintroduce it from the one play I had over a year and a half ago. So Puerto Rico, Fallen, could come right back up as soon as I get to play it again, because I know I enjoyed it a lot, but not enough to say I enjoyed it more than a lot of other games when I was clicking through Pub Meeple. So it fell quite a bit, but not as far as the last one I'm going to talk about here. My number 16 last year was on the list, kind of the same reason that Pandemic was like number 5 last year and then fell into the 40s. This is one of those, like, it's a classic that I feel bad about not having in the top 50. Or at least I did last year. This year I went with like, no, I would rather play a bunch of these other games than this classic game that introduced these bunch of other games. So Stone Age, a classic, great, fun worker placement game. Happy to introduce it to people. Especially, again, it's kind of in that realm of, I want to teach you worker placements. I've got a bunch of great ones that are pretty complex. So let me bring Stone Age out, and we'll teach you the concept first of putting workers out and getting things, and then using those things to get points. Stone Age is great at doing that. That's why it's a classic in the hobby, one that gets people into the hobby. But when I think, is it really my favorite? No, it's really not. And that's why it fell off. It's a good game. It does what it needs to do. But I've got so many other games I enjoy that have the worker placement, but also this. Worker placement, but also that. And Stone Age has a little bit of that. Yeah, you're building the little huts and things, and but in the end, it's just pretty straight worker placement. And I like it. I appreciate it. Definitely worthy of being a classic, great game. Definitely worthy of plays when the time presents itself. But to say it's one of my 50 favorite games, I just can't do it. At least not this year. So it fell off. And I'm fine with that. So The Hardest Faller, one of the oldest games on my list, kind of loses its residency status, basically. Stone Age, The Farthest Faller. And that's it. Hopefully this video wasn't too long. A little conversation about the 11 games that used to be in my top 50, and now they're not. Some of them very well could be back again. Others, yeah, I don't expect to see them again in my top 50, unfortunately. But for various reasons, as I just explained, so I'm not going to rehash it again. I appreciate you being here. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Comment below your thoughts on these games and any others you want to comment on, or comment on my video in general, whatever. I'm a small channel. I don't have many followers or people who watch anyway, so I can see every comment and at least give you a thumbs up or a reply and my response back, whatever you have it. And subscribe. I think I didn't mention that yet. If you want to see more videos just like this one, top 10 lists, reviews, general board game, chitter chatter. I try to put out one video a week. So I hope to see you in the next one.